All right, welcome to the track portion of this review. Unfortunately, Paul can't join me for it because of the structure of the event, but I've got the 6-speed manual transmission in the Elantra N. I am in N mode, and I am looking forward to this. Let's see how this thing does on the racetrack. We are doing lead follow, so hopefully our instructor will give us some challenging times on Sonoma Raceway. I have never driven this track before. It's always exciting and sometimes interesting to get onto a new track, but we're gonna do the best we can, learn the track, and hopefully put this thing through its paces. If it's anything like the Veloster N, it should be great. Here we go. For this test, I will put the Rev Matching on because I want to test how well it works. They do have a similar system in the Corvette, and I am used to it, although I don't really use it. I heel toe myself. I will also let you know about the pedal placement and how that works for heel and toe. So Sonoma is a very hilly course. Got a lot of elevation changes. So over to the right here, looks like a bit of balance braking. Uphill. Key on the racetrack, keep your eyes ahead. Even people who have been on racetracks a lot have to remind themselves of that, because you can get tunnel vision looking like at the car in front of you instead of the racetrack where you're going. You get the lift-off pops and burbles, and it's just such a great sound. There's nothing better than that. Sound-wise. Driving-wise, wow, this thing is pretty planted. It is sitting fairly flat. Brakes are still street car level as far as the grabbiness, the grittiness of the pad and the rotor. Race brakes will grab you right away and haul you down. So the Rev Match works great. So back to the brakes. On a street type pad and rotor setup, it's going to be a lot less grabby because they just want longevity in the brake pad and rotor. The grittier it is, the more it wears the rotor out. Wow, this is a very cool track. Wow, so far so good in the Elantra N. Whoa. The brakes work just fine. What happened there is I kind of got a little weightless in that crest. Fourth. Another line crest. Excellent. Power delivery is very smooth. You don't have like a big turbo lag. I am getting brake chatter on the brakes. This double apex right here. Very planted. No real torque steer. Hyundai has talked about how they're trying to dial in actually a little torque steer, where other manufacturers are trying to dial it out. Hyundai thinks that it's better if you can feel when you're putting that power down. And so they're trying to really work up a little bit of torque steer and not completely dial it out. By the way, heel and toe placement, perfectly great. Down to second here, that was from 4 to second. So Rev Matching works great, but you can also heel toe very nicely yourself. The dash will flash at you when it's time to shift, so you can kind of watch it in your peripheral vision, which is great for track driving. Keeps your eyes on the racetrack. Boy, this thing just sits flat. Down to third right there. A little bit of balance braking so I don't hit Paul in front of me in the Kona. Come on, Paul. Come bad. But I'm not allowed to. This is a very balanced car. I'm very impressed at how well this is doing. This is a front-wheel drive sedan. And it is really doing well out here. About 100 right there. By the way, it won't let you into a gear like second if you're gonna overmatch the, you're gonna cook the motor. Boy, what a fun little course this is. Really digging Sonoma. Come on, Paul. We're leaving everyone else in the dust. Come on, Paul. I don't know if you can see behind us, but that next car back there is pretty far back. Oh, these gears are a joy to shift. Power on. You can get power on kind of early because front wheel drive, you don't have to worry about power on oversteer. Up in the fourth here, hitting about 100 miles an hour right there at the finish line. Brakes are doing great, no fade whatsoever. They're right there. A little bit of balance braking. Super impressive. Just wow. Just wow. What a great track. This thing's awesome. I'm sorry. Look at this smile. This thing is awesome. That was ridiculous. How much fun are you supposed to have in a front-wheel drive car on a racetrack? Well, if you pick the manual Elantra N, you're going to have a ton of fun in it. Oh my God, that was awesome. Man, this engine is very torquey. The sounds it makes, the way the seats hold you in, the suspension is nice and firm. I mean, N mode on the street's a little rough, even for my taste. But on the track, it's absolutely phenomenal. And what better place to test this out than this racetrack? This is not going to be a car that you want on the straight of Road America. You know, it just doesn't have the power at 276 horsepower to get you a lot of speed at the end of that. But on a track like this, where you're left, you're right, you're left, you're right, up and down, and camber changes, and elevation changes, it just does great, absolutely great. I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they had the guts to build a car like this and then sell it to the general public. Not that it's dangerous, not that it's over the top, it's just that it's absolutely what people want. And as weird as this sounds, car companies don't always give people what they want. I mean, I could list to you about 100 different cars that I want a manual transmission in, and I never got one. Well, I got one, and I'm super happy about it. This is an awesome, awesome vehicle. So there you have it. The new Elantra N is an extremely capable sports sedan that's just as much fun on the track as it is on the street. Now let's see how the Kona N does on the racetrack. All right, here we go in the Kona N on the racetrack. Getting it in N mode. Let's see how the big brother, the Kona, does. So far, so good. It does seem to have a lot less grip than the Sonatas. Sorry, Elantras. I didn't say Sonata before. I meant the Elantra. The Elantra N. So we do get less grip, higher center of gravity, same power. Let's see. I'm just letting the DSC dual clutch gear, or DSG I should say, dual clutch gearbox shift for itself. This doing a very good job. The transmission is really holding its own, holding gears when it's supposed to. I do have this handy dandy overboost button down here. I haven't tried it yet. It's the NGS button. Something about grins in there. The G is for grins. This is a slower double chicane. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, so the front pushes a little bit, loses grip a little bit. We're gonna overboost this thing. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, there's definitely less grip in the front and overall compared to the Elantras. It's fun and tossable though. So that overboost adds about 10 more horsepower, and it lasts for 20 seconds, and then you gotta wait 40 seconds before you can do it again. Woo! And the problem here is I cannot keep up with these Elantras, because this thing in the corners doesn't have the tire grip. It's running Pirelli tires instead of the Michelins that are on the Elantras, and I feel like there's just no confidence in the grip. The chassis is doing fine. Boom, I'm gonna hit that button again. The grin shift, that's it. Grin shift button. Sounds a lot like Grinch, but the opposite. You really gotta be on your game with this thing. Those S-turns. Wow, it shifts weight great though. I mean, there's not a lot of weight transfer. I mean, it's more pronounced than in the Elantra, but for a little SUV, not bad at all. Just pushes, you know, you give it gas in the middle of the turn and it just kind of pushes it. You can throttle steer with that. There is a little bit of torque steer, but they dial that in on purpose. So unlike most manufacturers that are trying to dial out the torque steer, they want to dial a little bit back in so you can feel what's going on with between the accelerator and the front tires. And you can feel it. It's not bad to the point where it's a problem. Boy, this racetrack. Whatever. It's my second time driving it now today, and it is phenomenal. This is where I feel a little less confident. It's right here. Going through that. Here, grin shifting up for another 10 horsepower. Boom. Brakes. Man, these brakes are great though. Back on power.
So at the end of the day, we learned that the Kona N is a fun, tossable, but under-tired car that could use the Michelins on track. Of the two, the Elantra N is definitely going to turn faster lap times with its better balance and tire setup. And the Elantra is the only one available with the manual transmission, so of course, that's the one we'd choose hands down. Now, we didn't have time to drive the Kona N on the street. For that review, you'll want to hit that subscribe button and watch for Jennifer with Auto Exotica and her full review of the Kona on the street. This has been Brendan with Sons of Speed. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon at the track.